Hey there. In this occasion, we are going to start explaining why I consider this chart is wrong, or what I see wrong in this chart. Basically, they are using dual axes, but both axes are not in the same scale, and basically, it's not showing up how they really differ. This visually doesn't help stakeholders to realize what is the real situation on joinings and cancels in subscription on Netflix. Besides that, I also can relate that on December here there is a zero number that is basically most probably an empty data that was replaced by zero, and that's why we see here a downtrend. So in this case, I wouldn't impute the value for using zero, but I would use maybe an empty value to doesn't show up the December data if it hasn't arrived yet, or I will impute it using an average or a moving average, or either using an estimation of that value using well other techniques like interpolation or even a prediction model to realize what is that data. Basically, that is what I wanted to show up for the first one. For the second was asked what is the film that most appearance in Netflix on top 10. In this case, I have that Sonic the Hedge is the one that appeared the most, and it has an average of seven a week in yeah weekly in the top 10, and has an average of 7.5 hours a week. So it is basically the number, and the average is 7.4 millions hours every week. The lowest rated form in this case is given by the artist weekly hours on the y-axis and the IMDb rating, and we can see here that all this point here in this scatter plot is basically what is the rating in this ranking, having the 10, which I mean on the right, and the lowest on the left, and basically this is the we can see here that actually there are several ones with the lowest rating, but the selection was selected by the chicken hair and the hamster of darkness. And this is the average weekly hours view that is also being displayed here. Through my longevity. Okay, so in this case, the question was, what assumption would you make to what risk will be involved to estimate the number of users who watch the firm? Um, in this case, I was basically using an estimated of the hours. So basically, we have the average per week of every duration is going to give us also the average visit per week and the duration of those forms. So we have to move that to the same unit, so from 100 and 16 minutes to hours, and basically having that in the same scale, we are be able to make the compute to calculate like the number of users who watched this phone. Um, yeah, that is actually being displayed here. The estimated user is about 1.1 million. In this case, the support weekly stability, it says what are the risks ignoring the data from week 22nd and calculating the metric from the previous question. Well, the risk is basically that if we don't consider the value here, we may relate that some percentage or rates are different from real data, and that could impact on data decision driving. So that is why it's very important to not showing up the values and making a properly replaced for that value as well. There are basically other reason that basically if we have a model that is empty here and we want to train it, so basically having that gap will provide us like an overlapping on the information and give us like overfitting around the points of the chart that doesn't have that value. So that is why very important those distortion are being displayed there. And yes, basically that may also affect the average and totals that may happen every week. For the geometric interpolation, I just develop like an estimation function that allows to estimate what is the imputed total for the empty value. This is basically what I got. There are four options. In this case, in blue bold is the zero value that is not showing like the real number. This is the imputed total using a geometric mean, which I consider is not the best, but it is an approach. Another approach could be using another point here from a weak moving average, and another with from moving with average, taking into account now the field or like the field trend. In this case, could be this point or this point. Um, yeah, this is basically what I want to show up. Thank you so much.